Okay, so this is part two of how I found out that my husband at the time and my mom were having an affair almost 14 years ago after I had just given birth and I was dealing with a lot of health issues. So he had confessed to this. And after the confession, I flew back to my house and my mom was outside. I got out of the car and she knew. I mean, the look in her face, she was just white. And I got out of my car and I said, I need you to pack your bags and get out of my house. And she said, what are you talking about? What happened? What did he say? What did he do? What are you talking about? And in her state of panic, she said, Mom knew about all this. My grandma. She knew about all this and I'm going to call her and I'll tell her and you'll see. And I just said, you know what you've done. And she grabbed her phone. She called my grandma. She put it on speakerphone and she said, you know how I told you that Lacey's husband, his name, was hitting on me and he was holding my hand? Well, now he's telling her that we had an affair. Tell her it's not true. Tell her, because I've been honest with you this whole time. Tell her. Keep in mind, at this point, I had never accused her of this. She didn't know that I knew. She was just assuming, right? The truth came out because it did, because he admitted it. And she knew exactly what she had done. And this entire time, my grandparents, who are like my world, who were there for me my entire life when no one else was, they knew that him and my mom were at least holding hands from what she was telling them. And no one told me. Nobody told me. And to this day, my mom will never admit it. She has never admitted it. She's never apologized. In her mind, it never happened. And the best thing that came out of this was that my husband at the time was honest with me and he told me that it happened. And even years after this, after we had divorced and I hadn't talked to my mom for several years, I would ask him and his story never changed. He had nothing to lose at this point. He had already lost me. But my grandparents don't believe that it ever happened. They think that he was just saying those things to tear our family apart. But my mom trying to sabotage me didn't end there, because she also tried to take my house from me. As now a single mom with failing health issues, with no job, no career, nothing in my name. And that's a whole other story. And I've been homeless a couple times in my life. And that's why I started my nonprofit. So if you're new here, I also have a nonprofit where we build tiny homes for single moms. And that is what started all of this, because of the betrayal, because of not having a home, because of feeling my entire home, my safety, my security net being ripped apart and shredded, and not having anyone in my support system. Amazing things can come out of horrible things.